You fucking Pixar character looking ass bitch, dude. Look at his fucking bulbous ass eyes, like just basically popping out of his goddamn head. You look like a cartoon character, dude. Let's talk about the riots, because there's race riots happening in the UK. Incredible stuff happening in the United Kingdom. Not so united. I told you guys that like the reform gains were nothing to just like cast aside. I told you that the growing momentum of like far right nationalism in the UK would be a genuine problem, and now they're doing pogroms.
Rioters attack a hotel in Rotherham as the violence grows and the Prime Minister calls out far-right thuggery.
This music is kind of funny with like just watching England and Northern Ireland, not the whole UK. Sure. Not Scotland though. Mention that. Okay. England and Northern Ireland. So for the record, it's really fucked up. Okay. I'm just gonna tell you exactly what's going on. Number one, I think a dude of Rwandan, is he Rwandan? Fuck. I think it was a Rwandan Christian that is like nationalized, like born in the UK. Yeah, Rwandan background, but a British citizen that was born here, okay, who comes from a Christian family, stabs, yeah, he's also young, stabs someone, another kid, and every psychopath automatically goes, oh, this is Muslims doing crimes. So then they basically stab multiple kids, 3 kids. Basically what ended up happening is, and that's a horrific, gruesome crime, by the way. Obviously, make no mistake. He stabbed 3 little girls at the Taylor Swift dance class. He stabbed 13 children and adults, and 3 of the kids died. Basically, what ends up happening after this is the right turn around and go, oh, it's Muslims doing this. It's all immigrants doing this. And they just have instituted a mass pogrom over the course of the past week. And the media coverage on this has either been not at all, or specifically on the boundaries of like pro-British people protesting, like right-wing people protesting. I don't know. It's really fucked up. It's another, dude, stop defending what is not defendable. What? Bro, are you guys, did you get fucking stabbed in the brain in the process? What's happening? Like at no point would I, like, what are you saying? What is going on, bro? I just like, I could literally be like, man, I really hate chocolate. Like it's not my favorite. I'm a fan of strawberry. And motherfuckers would be like, dude, I cannot believe that you love chocolate and you fucking hate strawberry. Like you're directly finish your narrative. There is no narrative. Like you're directly contradicting what I just said. You're saying that I'm advocating for the opposite of the things I'm saying. Like, what do you think? You think I'm defending killing children? What are you, fucking stupid? I mean, yeah, you are stupid. It's fucking insane. Anyway, let's continue.
I won't shy away from calling it what it is. Far-right thuggery. To those who feel targeted because of the colour of your skin or your faith, I know how frightening this must be. I want you to know that this violent mob do not represent our country.
Good evening. Even as the Prime Minister was condemning a wave of violence that he said singled out Muslims and other ethnic minorities, it was still unfolding. In Rotherham, rioters shouted, "Get them out," broke windows, and some appeared to smash their way inside a hotel housing asylum seekers. Chairs and
Yeah, BBC described the marauding mobs of Nazis stabbing brown and black people and burning hotels with migrant families in them as pro-British march, by the way. It's just, it is so fucking unhinged.
and fence posts were thrown at police who are continuing to deal with disorder outside the Holiday Inn Hotel. We'll be live in Middlesbrough tonight, where some 300 protesters gathered at the town's cenotaph with chants of "We want our country back." It follows yesterday's unrest in several towns and cities across England and Northern Ireland. We also report from Liverpool on what the police called a night of deplorable violence in which 23 people were arrested. Well, the violence escalated rapidly in Rotherham this afternoon as rioters attacked a hotel housing asylum seekers. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper said police had full government support for the strongest action against those responsible. While in Middlesbrough, a crowd of around 300 people marched through the town centre, some attacking police, others smashing the windows of houses and cars. From Middlesbrough, our chief correspondent, Alex Thompson, has this report.
Today, Yorkshire, Rotherham. Crowds clashing with police outside a hotel where immigrants are being housed. Bottles and furniture thrown at the police, masked men shouting Yorkshire. A bin set on fire by rioters with little regard for anyone inside the hotel. A police force at times appearing outnumbered.
Right now, there are attacks happening on a hotel in Rotherham. Marauding gangs intent on law-breaking, or worse. Windows smashed, fire set ablaze, residents and staff in absolute fear. There is no justification, none, for taking this action.
Early afternoon, hundreds had gathered in Middlesbrough's city centre. Everyone we...
By the way, this shit was posted all over Facebook, by the way. English chuds thought it was a real image. In Birmingham, migrant crowds are waving swords live on TV. Where are the British police at the moment? They threatened to riot in Birmingham. A lot of South Asians and Muslims in front of like a hospital and shit. I don't even know how to describe it. It is just so fucking insane.
Spoke to condemn the violence. Hated
not far right. It's what's right.
The term hard right. They just feel immigration's out of control. Opinions forceful and to many fanciful.
Motherfuckers wearing a Trump 2024 hat in London, bro. What the fuck?
It's our country and we're getting pushed
The universality of hogs, once again, by the way. Everybody looks like a fucking thumb. Oh.
out. I understand how the Native Indians felt in America now, because that's what the white man did, went and pushed them out. Only it's the white man getting pushed out of this country.
I don't know what to say. I just like, I am at a loss for words at how fucking unimaginably stupid that is.
I hope everything goes peacefully. I think that's what the majority of the families and that have come here today is for. Peaceful demonstrations, no riots. We don't want to be like everybody else labelled far right.
So first, this man let his flag do the talking.
There's been a lot of aggro, there's been a lot of trouble. That can't be right.
No, it isn't right. It's we're not condoning it, but people...
Do you condemn it?
I condemn it, but what I'm saying is people now are at boiling point.
Bro, you're the people at the boiling point. Like, what are you saying? People, not me. I'm out here with a flag that says get them all out by force. What is people?
First, a moment's silence for the 3 girls murdered in Southport. And then the march. Along the city's main Linthorpe Road, scuffles with riot police as one group tried to break the police cordon. City centre mosques asked worshippers to stay away this weekend because of safety fears. We witnessed.
They burned down like restaurants that they suspected of being owned by like Muslims or Arabs. They've been like setting up security cordons in neighborhoods and shit to be like to not let certain people in.
There's several arrests. The police say the total is
Burn down a
16
fucking library.
so far.
And so the familiar pattern unfolds. The crowd now swelled to close on 1,000 people or more. It's true, some abhor the violence, they condemn it, but hundreds are intent on having a fight.
A number of vehicles were attacked today and 3 burned out in a suburb in the early hours. And at a number of points, bricks, bottles and cans were thrown at the police lines. More than 4,000 extra police officers now stand ready, with the court system gearing up for round-the-clock hearings. In a country which now imprisons peaceful climate protesters for several years, how will the courts deal with this?
Yeah, this is Middlesbrough asking if the drivers are white to let them through. If they're not, they're going nowhere.
Yo.
Like, the amount of confidence these motherfuckers have to be able to do whatever they want in this regard is so crazy. Just like with January 6th, like, they don't think that, well, they don't think at all, just like with January 6th, but they don't think that there's any repercussions for this kind of behavior. They just do not understand that, like, what they're doing is just completely unconscionable. And to a certain degree, they're getting away with it.
Big Jake right there, big Jakey boy. Fucking hell.
Just fucking ran me over. Just fucking ran me over, where's the police?
Hey, want to say alright to the TikTok or what? Get up. Are you white? Are you white? That's mental. That is mental. Look, can't do shit. Can't do nothing.
Will had a really good take on this. He said, it's probably worth remembering that but a few months ago, the British and American press libeled the massive, totally peaceful anti-war, pro-Palestine protests in terms that made them sound exactly what we're seeing now from right-wing lynch mobs. The effects of mass migration and open borders is what's going on. Civil war is inevitable, he says. And it's like, dude, you're a fucking migrant. Like, what are you talking about? You literally are an immigrant in the United States of America. Like, what the fuck, dude? He is such a goddamn Nazi. He is such a fucking Nazi, dude. It is unbearable. Oh my God. I don't know how to deal with these motherfuckers, man. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do in this situation. Like, they are just so stupid.
Not much comfort, perhaps, to hard-working people, though, with businesses and livelihoods wrecked, now starting the laborious clean-up.
Well, yes, news just in late this afternoon, the Home Secretary has announced the national plan.
This is why I always also make the distinction, like, what people are protesting is way more important than how people are protesting. How people are protesting can be important as well, but what people are protesting is very important, okay? Make no mistake. These people claim that the BLM protest, okay, were riots of, like, black supremacy or whatever the fuck. That was not the case. Those were people, white people, black people, brown people, protesting against police brutality. Police disproportionately targeting and killing black people in this country. Okay? Some of the most violent aspects of our genuinely white supremacist criminal justice system. They were protesting against power. These people are protesting against the existence of black and brown people around them. Okay? It is an inherently white supremacist protest. It has happened throughout history, and it's happening again. Okay?
Plan for beefing up security at mosques across the country. Here in Middlesbrough, pretty quiet, as you can see, people told to keep away from the city centre. The violence is continuing in the Linthorpe Road area. It's just over there. police helicopter you can probably hear overhead. A telling moment just before we came on air right here, one of the march organisers, who we've come to know, came over and showed us a bucket full of cash collected at today's rally to be sent to the families of the victims tragically killed in Southport. He was visibly angry at what had happened, but he said, the problem is, Alex, we can't control this. We're just a few people who want a peaceful rally. There's hundreds more who don't. A pretty telling comment from someone at the very centre of organising what started peacefully and continued in very different but all too familiar fashion now.
Thanks, Alex. Alex Thompson there for us in Middlesbrough. There was serious disorder in Liverpool last night too, where hundreds of rioters threw fireworks, attacked fire engines and set a library on fire. Our reporter Andrew Misra has been with members of the community as they began to clear up the damage.
A bonfire of violence and chaos in Liverpool last night. Hundreds of troublemakers gathered in the Walton area of the city.
Man, sick!
Pushed back by police from the mosque they were targeting, they turned their fury.
Like, what are we talking about? They just like are actively trying to burn a mosque down. They're not troublemakers, bro. They're fucking Nazis. They are Nazis in the process of doing a hate crime, okay? People go to synagogues where they are actively selling Palestinian stolen land, which is illegal, to protest outside of the sale, right? To protest the sale itself. And there's like a complete alarm about how unimaginably anti-Semitic of a hate crime it is. Okay? These motherfuckers in the middle of the night are going to try to light a mosque on fire. That is not rabble-rousing. That's not troublemaking. That's called domestic terrorism. Okay? It's called white supremacist, anti-Islam, domestic terror. It is a hate crime that they are engaging in. Okay? It's not like a bit of a ruse. They're having a laugh, are they?
Fury towards a library. Inside today, hard to imagine this place was called a Library of the Future when it reopened last year to help one of the country's most deprived communities. Now it's the community deprived of its services.
I get people are angry about things, but they've got it the wrong way of doing it. Like causing carnage to a library that all the local kids use. They can't use that now. We don't want people to think we're horrible people, but it's a horrible area because we're not. We're all about community. They just showed last night that they're nothing like what we actually are. They're a disgrace.
Locals were out in force this morning, determined to clean up their streets from the stain of last night's havoc.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me that the leader of this faction is not even allowed in the fucking UK right now. Tommy Robinson, or what is his name? Yaxley Lennon or whatever, is not even allowed in England currently. Okay. The leader of the EDL. I thought this shit was like dealt with. Okay. I thought this shit was like completely fucking dealt with. Also a massive Israel dick rider, but that's, you know, it's neither here nor there. Stephen Yaxley Lennon is his name, also known as Tommy Robinson. Okay. Tommy Robinson is the name that you might have, you might recall, you might remember. And the thing is, these guys are like his followers, his fan base, and many more people, as a matter of fact, have gone completely insane, and they're just doing pogroms around the country. Okay? They're doing fucking pogroms around the country. Meanwhile, when the pro-Palestinian demonstrators were peacefully protesting against genocide, okay, something that the international community recognizes, okay, and England's lack of interest in doing anything about Israel's genocidal acts and still sending weapons to Israel, which is something that they're now reconsidering, a stance that they're now reconsidering. So the protests were not only peaceful, they were morally just, but also beyond that, they might have even been successful. All of that was covered as like the worst kind of anti-Semitism you've ever seen. These guys are running around trying to actively kill as many Muslims or as many Arabs as possible. Bro, there's no way you're talking about Israel again. If you think this is not a direct one-to-one situation here because of how white supremacy operates in the West, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Just they're trying to go after any and every brown person that they've seen, trying to murk any and every fucking brown person that they see. And you're out here, and the way that the media is covering it is like, oh, they're just like anti-immigrant protesters. Oh, they're activists. It's crazy.
I know these communities. I did my surgery last week on Friday in this library, meeting local constituents, and so to see the effect of what is basically mindless, violent criminality on these streets is just so heartbreaking.
Seeing businesses broken into has left many scared of what might happen next.
Just want people to know, especially anyone who's got any of these shops that feel threatened or vulnerable, that we're the vast majority of us aren't like that around here.
Yeah, the guy who's like leading the charge, the EDL, English Defense League, whatever the fuck it's called. He is also backed by literal pro-Israel groups. Okay? So no, this isn't just like, this is the idea that this has nothing to do with Israel is also fucking stupid. Here he is in a fucking IDF shirt. Here's Tommy Robinson and co. posing with the Israeli army wearing IDF t-shirts. The far right in Israel and Britain don't look or behave that differently, do they? Yeah, they don't. And not only do they not defend, or not only do they not behave differently, they're often directly funded by it. And also, there are literally fucking Israeli officials who are posting shit like this. Here's the Israeli occupation's deputy mayor of Jerusalem. Goodbye, England. Together we'll make this country yours. Thank you for being so weak. Maybe I should say he's like backed by the Russian government or something for a lot of you liberals to like actually calculate it in a way that matters. Because I know many people's brains short circuit when I say Israel. Many people who literally are constantly talking about like Russian involvement, Russian interference. Ooh, it seems like Russia is stoking the fires, which by the way, Russia might be, okay? Why the fuck wouldn't you take advantage of a country at the midst of a collapse like this by pushing and pulling in ways that matter to genuinely push for some kind of fucking, to push for some kind of like race riot. But Israel's doing that shit too. Look at this, like no shame, no fear. No, I don't think he's doing a monkey gesture. But he definitely did do the knife thing. Like, anyway, that's like the least of the obvious fucking horrifically racist shit that they're doing. Do you think this is normal? Like, what do you think these guys are doing? Honestly, what do you think their interest is? Protecting? Defending? What do you think is happening here? Get his ass, dude. Fuck yeah. What's on his t-shirt? Tommy Robinson has previously stated he would fight for Israel in the war. This thread examines Robinson and EDL's very clear material relationship with the Zionist movement and considers the possibility that the racist attacks and pogroms in Britain are part of that fight. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Of course he's fucking pro-Israel. This is what Israel is doing in Gaza. It's going to get clipped as the other guy attacking the racists. Wait, what? That's a bunch of fucking dudes that find a black guy by himself and go up to attack him. What do you mean?
Do you feel that there is a racist element to this? Do you know what? I think a lot of the people that were writing sort of forgotten the reason why they are.
Grief for 3 young girls tragically murdered less than a week ago. has been seized upon by agitators looking for an excuse to damage and destroy.
The chair of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners said that arresting people is treating the symptom and not the cause. What do you say to that?
I want to be very clear here that she was not speaking on behalf of PCC. She was not speaking as chair. She was speaking in her own personal capacity. I am very clear that what we have seen over the last few days is not related to any ideological stance on any big issue. This is around violence, mindless, senseless violence, causing harm to our communities, and it's absolutely not something that we're going to tolerate.
A city that prides itself on tolerance and understanding is reeling from a day and night so at odds with its values.
That's the that's how you know, bro. They're not even fucking hiding their faces when they do this shit. That is one of the telltale signs that it's getting to a point where like they're comfortable. They know that the government has their back consistently, at least in terms of their policy. This is one of the greatest examples of how government policy, specifically in terms of like anti-immigration policy, galvanizes the base of fascist support, because they're like, why would I hide my face? Like, I want to go and fucking kill migrants, and the government is basically giving me carte blanche to do so. And that's why I think prosecuting these instances is really important. It's really important because then at least like it has a massive chilling effect on future pogroms such as this one. That's why there is no January 6th post January 6th. Because that was the first time that these motherfuckers got together in America and literally did some shit, right? And they didn't fucking cover their faces. They didn't do any of that. They filmed themselves doing it. Because in their minds, they were like, yeah, obviously nothing is going to happen to me because I'm doing the righteous thing. This government has always protected me. It's always had my back. Why the fuck wouldn't they be on board with this? Until they saw genuine criminal repercussions for their criminal actions, which was shocking to them for the first time ever, where they were like, what the fuck? You're putting me in jail for what? Like, I'm a patriot. That was a first for many people that basically destroyed their sense of entitlement and arrogance in terms of like participating in these kinds of like right-wing fascist attacks on people, on property, on property owned by a certain sect of people. Like some kind of criminal punishment in this situation absolutely changes course pretty quickly, because these guys are not used to it at all.
Andrew Misra for this there in Liverpool. Well, earlier, as the disorder in Rotherham was just beginning to unfold, I spoke to Chief Constable BJ Harrington, public order lead for the National Police Chiefs Council, and I began by asking him about the extent of the disorder across the country and if this level of policing can be sustained if it carries on throughout the summer.
Yeah, the simple message is yes, we can. Over the last week, we've seen abhorrent behaviour, criminal behaviour that in no way reflects or pays tribute to the compassion and empathy for those poor children that were killed. You'll have seen robust responses across the country in every force where there's been disorder. Over 140 arrests made. You'll have seen brave, courageous police officers on the street working with their communities, protecting their communities to try and stop this in its tracks. That's our intention. That's what we'll do. And we'll continue to bring people to justice to stop this. We don't want a summer of discontent. We're going to deal with it this weekend and continue to deal with it to protect our communities.
This afternoon, as we speak, there are concerns about what's going on right now in Middlesbrough. In Rotherham, it appears protesters have gained access to a hotel and have smashed windows there. Does that seem like a situation that is under control?
We've got people coming forward and committing criminal acts across the country. You saw that yesterday, and police were quick to respond and to make arrests. Obviously, the officers and staff in Rotherham will be doing the same thing today, making sure they protect the public, they arrest criminals and deter and capture these people who are committing crimes. These are live and fast-moving events, and I know the police and officers, the staff and officers in Rotherham will be doing exactly that. But importantly, we're also looking ahead, making sure we deal with the perpetrators. And just because people haven't been caught today or caught yesterday, we're examining the CCTV footage, our own evidence, and of course the message for people who are committing these crimes, and they are crimes, this is not protest, is we're coming after you, we will arrest you, and we'll put you in front of the courts.
You were in a meeting yesterday with the Prime Minister. Did you discuss any extra potential measures if what you're doing now doesn't prove sufficient?
We discussed lots of things with the Prime Minister, and the key point with both the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary was the support for the actions of officers. And I want to stress that officers making difficult decisions, doing dangerous things and tackling some violent criminals. And we got every support from the government we need. Of course there's a cost to policing. All of these officers, professionally trained, hard-working, come from communities across the country. They're not catching burglars, they're not protecting victims, they're dealing with thugs, and that's right and proper for them to do that. We'll continue to do that, we'll continue to use the intelligence, and I just want to stress, you know, to communities, we're there to protect you. Make sure you speak to community leaders.
I just want to ask you about Donna Jones, who's the chair of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners. She said in a statement that's now been removed that the Prime Minister's new violent crime units have led to accusations of two-tier policing, which has inflamed protesters. What do you make of that?
Well, I would say there's no two-tier policing here. Where we come across people who want to peacefully protest, express their views in a democratic society, we will and have always facilitated that peaceful and lawful protest. We're not anti-protest, but we are anti-crime, we are anti-violence.
But these were remarks, albeit the statement was retracted, from the chair of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners. She also said that protest groups in the wake of the Southport stabbings were focused on the need to uphold British values. Do you think that is acceptable?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to critique the commentary of someone else. I'm going to tell you what policing's doing. You'll see high visibility patrols, even in the places where there is no disorder today, to make sure the communities know that we are there, we're on their side, and we're protecting them.
Nigel's EDS ass statement.
So the Prime Minister tonight reacting to what has happened over the course of the last 48 hours. His conclusion, very simple, it's all the far right.
But what it is. Like, what do you, these guys are saying the same things that you're saying. Anyway, here, look at how the BBC is covering it, by the way, which is fucking insane. Yesterday.
The time now, 6:30.
Yeah, back to our top story. And the government will hold an emergency Cobra meeting later after more than 150 people were arrested. This following the violent disorder in the UK towns and cities over the weekend.
In Bolton, anti-immigration protesters were confronted by a group of up to 300 masked people shouting Allahu Akbar, or God is greatest. The time now, 6:30.
In Bolton, anti-immigration protesters were confronted by 300 masked people shouting Allahu Akbar. Bro, just say you love the protesters. Or just say that you are a fan of what they're protesting. That's your framing on the situation. Here's a few examples of the Daily Mail headlines that have fanned the flames of hate and normalized Islamophobic and anti-migrant rhetoric. Fury over plot to let 1.5 million Turks into Britain. 4,000 foreign murderers and rapists we can't throw out. Prime Minister, UK Muslims helping jihadis. Migrant numbers hit new records. Migrants, how many more can we take? Calais, send in the army. True toll of the mass migration on UK life. 4 out of 5 migrants aren't Syrians. We're from Europe, let us in. 100,000 illegals stopped at the UK border. 1 million more migrants are on their way. The swarm on our street. Prime Minister, why we must not take 3,000 migrant children. Britain's broken borders. Migrants spark housing crisis. Foreign workers get 3 in 4 new jobs. Here's Zara Sultana talking about the Daily Mail fanning the fucking flames of racist, vitriolic rhetoric. Here is Zara talking as a Muslim MP talking about the UK race riots. He is like, I agree with the protesters. Like, what more can he say? Like, he doesn't understand it because in his mind, he agrees with the protesters, but he just can't admit it and also be a part of polite society. Because after all, he's of a higher class, whereas the protesters in Northern England and whatnot are like in former labor strongholds. They're radicalized people who no longer have jobs. They're fucking shitty. Okay? They're like lowborn. Whereas this man has been able to make it to Good Morning Britain. So obviously he's now highborn. He is of a different class. So he doesn't want to fucking associate himself with trash like that.
Protesters.
He was a Labor MP and his wife is the fucking Home Secretary. Yeah, also there's that. The thing is, The thing is, this is across the board. This is across the board. This is across the political spectrum. This is why Keir Starmer capitulating the right-wing framing on immigration, just like the Democrats capitulating the right-wing framing on immigration here in the United States of America, is genuinely frustrating because they fucking agree with those Nazis. They just don't want to fucking be associated with the Nazis. It's funny how easy it is for you to condemn this, but not the actual Nazi protests that happen in Australia and other countries just because they're also waving a Palestinian flag. Wait, what? No, dude. The fucking pro-Palestinian protests that happen aren't Nazi protests that happen. They're pro-Palestinian protests that happen. Okay? They're anti-genocide protests. I agree with anti-genocide as a sentiment. You should too. It's so strange, especially when we look at people like Tommy Robinson of the EDL, whose followers are currently doing these fucking anti-Islam pogroms, okay, who are Nazis themselves, are literally backed by Zionist groups. There's a fucking photo of him wearing a goddamn Israeli Defense Force shirt. That's a fucking Nazi. That's straight up a Nazi. Is it shocking to you that in modern day, a straight up Nazi could be so aligned with the nation state of Israel? It shouldn't be, because they're fucking both fascists. Okay? They're fascists. Israel is a fascist state. Tommy Robinson is a fascist in England. He is a white supremacist Nazi. There's a difference between an anti-genocide protest, oftentimes led by Jewish people, by the way, okay? Jewish anti-Zionists, sometimes getting fucking co-opted by infiltrators that they do a very good job of like ensuring that there are no anti-Semitic infiltrators. It's Jews oftentimes at the forefront of these fucking protests anyway. So what the fuck are we talking about? Comparing that to like out and about EDL protesters who are actively looking to find mosques to burn down is so insane. One is an anti-genocide protest. The other is a pro-genocide protest. Okay? Okay, I'm confused. How can someone pro-Israel be a Nazi at this point? They don't even hate Jews. They hate Muslims more than Jews, should I say? No, they still hate. Like, a lot of these people also hate Jews too. But they love Israel for a multitude of different reasons. One, because that means, yeah, put the Jews in the desert away from me. Or they personally like Israel because they want their own version of an ethno-state, just like Israel is supposed to be a Jewish ethno-state. That's it. But ultimately, the through line there is fascism. They have a united enemy: Muslims, Arabs, brown people. Okay? Nazi primarily means white supremacists these days. Hitler's anti-Semitism was hand in hand with his white supremacy. Blonde hair, blue eyes. So yes, you can be a supremacist, be Jewish. Yeah, I mean, these guys are also like, they're not exactly super fond of Jews either. I can't speak for Tommy Robinson personally, but a lot of these guys, as you already know, will be the first to be like, Jews control the media, but then they're also super pro-Israel. Here's a Labor MP saying, we want our hotel back because it housed refugees, and a few days later it was the target of a pogrom and it was set on fire.
For years, and the simple reality is that residents want their hotel back. Tamworth benefits from local...
5 days ago, this Labor MP talked about Tamworth wanting their hotel back. Today, surrounded by white supremacist rioters terrorizing people seeking asylum who have been forced to stay there. You incited this and you should resign, Sarah.
Tourism, and as I have said before, in
It was a Holiday Inn in the ass end of nowhere. They weren't hurting. Yeah, no, it's just... Wait, if they wanted it back, they're burning it down? No, they're just trying to fucking... Yeah, there are people in the hotel. They want to. The real reason why they're doing it is because they want to kill people in the hotel. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, what do you mean? They set a hotel on fire. The asylum seekers in Rotherham and people can't get out. The police are outnumbered and getting pushed back. Like, I don't think they ended up burning the hotel down, but they were trying.
She's gone. Bins up, bins up. Come on, boys! That bins up. That bins up now. Bins up. Push him back. Get round him.
Cops are blocking them from entering the entryways into the hotel. But then they just, you know.
That fire's going now. There's no point in that.
We really do transport our brainworms to other countries? No, dog, come on. Like, as much as I love talking about America's homeborn racism and shit, like, come on, this is England we're talking about. They have their own fucking version of this story that they have done time and time again. I would go so far as to say they fucking invented it. We carried the torch and accelerated it, maybe made it even more gruesome, more vicious, but like, these motherfuckers invented that shit, okay? Did you run the ad? I think I forgot, actually. Thank you for reminding me. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
Manvers, Rotherham, guys. Please. Guys, share this live out. My phone's going to die very soon.
Oh, something's happening upstairs.
All windows are smashed, guys. All windows are done. Top windows are in there, look.
Particular home.
Former Chief Superintendent of the Met Police on Sky News cut off by a presenter as soon as he mentions far-right radicalization on Twitter since must take over.
And I think what we have in the internet is the Wild West. There are no restrictions on the internet, and people who were banned a few years ago, before Elon Musk took over.
Abu, former Chief Superintendent at the Met Police, thanks very much indeed for giving us your insight and opinions on this situation. We are bringing you the latest pictures.
And causing particular harm to police officers. And I think what we have in the internet is the Wild West. There are no restrictions on the internet, and people who were banned a few years ago.
That's weird. Don't worry, Hasan. The media said it's not racism. It is appalling. Another new low. Muslim gravestones of the cemetery in Brunley has been vandalized with white paint and desecrated. I don't know if this is verified or not. I'm not saying it's fake, but I don't know if it's verified. Dude, why the fuck is there so much happening today? This has been happening for the past week. A rioter in Southport who was mocking police officers was hit in the head and cobblers with bricks thrown from his own side. Oh no. Wait, we gotta do it again. Oh, he got double fucked. He got hit in the fucking side and the back of the head at the same time, bro. Friendly fire in it. Fucking hell. Not this again. Oh, mate, my fucking knob, yeah? No! You got me in my knickers. No! In my fucking pantaloons. Ow, my balls. Bollocks, mate. Not me fucking trousers, yeah? Right in a fucking trousers, right in a fucking fanny, lad. Oh, that's so funny. Day in the life of a true Brexit geezer. Me and her wife, Susan, having a bad day. She didn't make my favourite jellied eels, so I decided to take a stroll down fucking London town, yeah? Saw a bunch of migrants, got mad, got bent out of fucking hell, decided to link up with the lads from the EDL, walked down to the fucking lorry station, went to the protests, got me balls fucking eat. I ate it, fucking hell, I ate it, yeah.
As if they're causing all of the problems. No, the far right are a reaction to fear.
Bro, you are directly responsible for this. Put this man in jail right now. I thought it was going to be Keir Stalin. What is happening? Put this man directly under the jail. Exile him. Banish him to that little island that Napoleon was in, okay? Put his ass on that island. Actually, no, fuck that. I'm sure there's plenty of wonderful people on the island. They shouldn't have to live around this fucking demon. I don't know. Put him somewhere. Put him on an island where there's nobody, okay?
To discomfort, to unease that is out there shared by tens of millions of people. Let me be clear. I don't support street violence. I don't support thuggery in any way at all. But I'm worried, not just about the events in Southport,
oh, it's been
but about
confirmed.
societal decline that is happening in our country.
Oh, it is confirmed. The Burnley Muslim graves. Lancashire police said they are treating the incident as a hate crime. Yeah, I don't get it. I thought they were... Wait, hold on. I thought these guys were simply anti-immigrant. Like, what's that about?
Law and order, folks. On our...
By the way, obviously saying that in this community, like everybody knows when someone says they're anti-immigrant that they're a fucking white supremacist Nazi. Most people in this community understand that. But that distinction is not so clear in places like the UK, apparently, where people think like, no, you don't understand it. You don't understand. I'm anti-immigrant for economic reasons. There's a good reason to send the boats back. Yeah? There's a good reason. I'm not racist. After all, I was a Labour MP.
Our streets is breaking down. This Prime Minister hasn't got an earthly clue how to deal with it. We need to start getting tough.
Yeah, he's right. Keir Starmer doesn't have a clue on how to deal with it. He should be putting your bitch ass, your ugly inbred ass in jail. Okay? He should be putting all of those ugly inbred ass white supremacist motherfuckers in jail. He does not know how to deal with it at all. Okay? He should be ruling. He should be putting down the iron fist. Okay? Like things that former British administrations have only done to, like, I don't know, striking coal miners or some shit. He should be doing that to the fucking white supremacists. You fucking Pixar character looking ass bitch, dude. Look at his fucking bulbous ass eyes, like just basically popping out of his goddamn head. You look like a cartoon character, dude.
We need to use stop and search, regardless of the kind of...
Don't hate on the coal miners. I didn't fucking say that. I think that was... What Margaret Thatcher did was abhorrent. I'm saying that what Keir Starmer should do would make that look nice if he was actually serious about running the goddamn show and not just sitting atop a clown show.
The skin of anyone.
Resorting to insults shows how sound your argument is. Oh no, dude. Are you upset that I'm making fun of your favorite white supremacist politician who my dick as an American is lodged so far up his fucking spinal cord? He's basically singing the Star Spangled Banner on a regular fucking basis. Mr. Number One Defend England is the biggest American dick rider of all time. Suck my fucking dick, bitch. Oh, I don't like your insults. I don't like it. I find your insults to be quite off color. I don't like it. Why are you being mean? It's like, bro, he's a fucking fascist. Suck my dick.
That gets stopped.
Get fucked.
We need tougher prison sentences for anybody carrying a knife.
Bro, you need to go to prison.
We need folks to get real. Because I tell you what you've seen on the streets of Hartlepool, of London, of Southport is nothing to what could happen over the course of the next few weeks. Let's have proper law and order. But Mr. Starmer, just to blame a few far-right thugs to say that's the root of our problems.
It's not a few far-right thugs. It's the entirety of the fucking right. You included. Jail, 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 jail. Throw him in jail. Throw him in jail yesterday.
It's really bad at the minute, right? And this is rinse and repeat, just like the Nazis tried to do with the Jews, just like everybody does. Every time the economy goes poor, we all blame the immigrants. We all blame that. Well, you know what? Give me thousands of immigrants, and I want to ship these lot out. I don't want these lot.
Nah, that's, dude, amazing. I love that. I love that. I'd say send them to Rwanda, but honestly, I don't want to do that to Rwanda. You know what I mean? Rwanda doesn't deserve that kind of fucking, ire from the thumbs.
They're not part of me. I felt so ashamed. I was crying. I watched them white people smash that breakfast in Manchester. That really upset me. You're not doing that in my name. You're not doing that in my name. I'll tell you what, and any good British person, right, should be stood up now. We always say that when Islam do their thing, we always say Muslims should stand up. Well, you know what? We should stand up and say, you are not doing that in my name.
Here's another wonderful BBC moment.
And for around half an hour, it was quite peaceful. There was a small counter-protest, the pro-British march on one side of the town hall here, and the counter-protest on the other side of the town hall. It was around o'clock, and for around half an hour,
Yeah, just a pro-Britain protest, you know? But yeah, the UK are currently facing our worst rioting since 2011 after misinformation that spread like wildfire after the events on Monday, 29 July. 3 young girls were brutally murdered and several others were critically injured by a 17-year-old in Southport. The name and ethnicity of the individual responsible was withheld by the police. As a result, false information that the suspect was a radical Muslim migrant spread like wildfire. After the outcry, the police stressed that the suspect had no ties to Islam. He was in fact born in Wales. His parents originated from Rwanda, a country in which 92% of the population is Christian. Despite all this, the far-right outcriers decided to crash a vigil on Tuesday that was being held in honor of the victims. These racist rioters gathered near a mosque in Southport and began their reign of violence. The mosque was vandalized. A police van was set alight and bricks were thrown. Several people were injured, including 53 police officers because of all this. A further Section 60 order, which gives police enhanced powers to stop and search, is designed to minimize violence, was put in effect on Thursday evening. This followed the original S60 order that was brought in for 24 hours on Wednesdays. Anyways, after the riot in Southport, the far-right movement actions were spurred on by the likes of Tommy Robinson, Katie Hopkins, and Nigel Farage, all far-right assholes with no brain, which then led to mass riots taking place all over the country and more being scheduled for the rest of the month. In Hartlepool, a person of color was punched in the face as onlookers laughed and cheered. In Manchester, a black man was surrounded by a lynch mob. We saw the video. In which they began to attack the man. In Middlesbrough, a Muslim woman was attacked with acid. In Sunderland, an Asian Uber driver was attacked by a mob. Black passengers on a bus also hid in fear as the mob started targeting them. Hartlepool? Sorry, I don't know how to say these fake names. Police stations and cars have been set on fire. Shops have been looted. People forced out of their homes and businesses destroyed. They literally destroyed like a Arab. I think it was like a halal food place as well. On top of you know the hotels where the migrants are staying. Earlier today in Rotherham, a far-right fascist rioted and smashed several windows at a hotel and later set fire to said hotel and was currently housing asylum seekers. Today, after several days of riots and people of color living in fear, the Prime Minister Keir Starmer finally made a statement where he condemned the far-right thuggery. However, it must be noted that neither him, the Home Secretary, or any cabinet member, with the exception of one or two, have labeled this as what it is: rampant racist Islamophobia. And I also want to point out that this is the same government who labeled pro-Palestine protesters anything but peaceful and were harmful towards Jews. It was the conservative government who called pro-Palestine protests hate marches, not the current Labour government. The comments were made by Suella Braverman. Is the context note. The acid attack was confirmed as false. Oh, my bad. Thank you for Thank you for letting me know. Palestine protests anything were peaceful or harmful towards Jews, and yet they call these riots rival protests. And Islamic Dawah stall offering free Qurans was violently attacked in Liverpool yesterday. Barely anything was said. What would you say to the Muslim community in this situation? How should they act? I mean, they should just, I don't know. I mean, they should just, again, try to stay as safe as possible. And you know, that's it. You just survive. It's like a fucking Halo mission. Be vigilant, shelter, survive. Co-editor of Tribune magazine. Unfortunately, it looks as though an acid attack has indeed taken place against a Muslim woman in Middlesbrough this evening. The voice note was sent by the son of the mosque's committee members. They're focused on the victim, making sure she's okay. They're taking further inquiries with the Cleveland police. The police have not denied the reports. They say the victim has not come forward and reported it. We're trying to get further information. This has been shared in the interest of public safety. There are very real concerns about racist attacks, and we must remain vigilant.